Every September, millions of people decide to lock in. Most of them quit by October, not because they're lazy, nobody ever gave them the rules. Every video on this trend tells you the same thing. It's your season. Trust the process. Then it hands you nothing you can do on a Tuesday. So here's the version with the rules. By the end, you'll have 6 of them, each specific enough to argue with. Every rule is built to survive the day you don't feel like it. Follow them, and your December looks like a completely different year. Ignore them, and you're right back here next September. Here's the part the other videos always leave out. The lock-in was never really about motivation. Motivation is the first thing to run out on you. It's about design. You build something that keeps running when you're tired, bored, and sick of yourself. That's the whole game, so here are your 6 rules. 1. Pick one thing. Most people lock in on everything at once. New sleep, new diet, new gym, new focus, all on the same morning. It feels serious. That's why it fails. Willpower isn't 7 separate tanks. It's one shared tank you keep drawing on. Split it 5 ways and all 5 run dry by the second week. Picture a guy who starts September with a gym plan, a meal plan, and a 5 a.m. alarm. By day 9, he's dropped all 3 and decided he's just not disciplined. The next year, he changes one thing. Lights out by 11, no exceptions. Better sleep makes his mornings easier, his cravings quieter, his focus longer. The workouts he kept failing at, they start happening on their own. He isn't more disciplined than last year. He's just not exhausted. That's a keystone. It's the single change that quietly drags the rest along behind it. So pick your one keystone habit and say it out loud. For most people, it's sleep, because almost everything downstream depends on it. Write it where you'll see it and leave everything else alone. You aren't becoming a new person in September. You're changing one thing. 2. Set a floor, not a ceiling. Here's how the ceiling quietly kills your streak. You decide on a full hour of study every single day. Day 1 is easy. Day 3, you're wrecked. You do 40 minutes, call the whole day a failure, and quit. The 40 minutes was never the real problem. The number you chose to measure against is what beat you. So set a floor underneath yourself instead. The floor is the smallest version of the habit that still counts as done. Take a student aiming for 2 full hours of revision a night. Week 1 holds. Then a late shift makes 2 hours impossible, so she does nothing. Her floor is 1 flashcard deck. 10 minutes, nothing more. On the bad nights, she does the 10, and the streak stays alive. On the good nights, she still sits down for the full 2 hours. The floor never once lowered her ceiling. It only stopped the worst days from breaking the chain. So set your floor right now, and make it embarrassingly small. Small enough that you cannot talk yourself out of it. 3. Bind it to a place. Telling yourself you'll do it at 6 o'clock is just a wish. 6 arrives, you're already busy, and the plan quietly evaporates. Time is a weak trigger. A place is a strong one. So tie the habit to a location instead of a moment on the clock. Take a writer who spent a whole year failing to write at home. He picks one table at one library and does nothing else there. No email, no browsing, no phone. Within a few weeks, just sitting in that chair starts the work for him. He stops negotiating with himself because the place makes the decision. This is why people who go somewhere to work reliably get it done. The room ends up carrying the habit so your willpower doesn't have to. So pick one single spot and guard it for your one thing. Decide what begins the second you sit down there. Then let the room do the work you kept trying to force. 4. Count the input. Most people score the wrong number. Pounds lost, followers gained, money in the bank, those are all outcomes, and outcomes run on a delay. You train hard for 3 weeks and the scale won't move. Water and fresh muscle hide the fat loss for a while. Track the scale and you'll quit the week before it finally drops. The result was always coming, you just couldn't see it yet. So score the input instead, never the outcome. Not the weight lost, but the session done. Not the book finished, but the words you wrote today. Take someone who trains hard for a month with no change on the scale. Score sessions, and that month was 20 clean wins, not 1 failure. 20 is 20, whatever the scale says that morning. The outcome lags by weeks. The input is true the same day, so pick the number you can post tonight and post it every day. 5. Never miss twice. You're going to miss a day, so plan for it right now. The lock-in doesn't die on the day you actually skip. One missed day is just an accident. It dies on the second day when the accident becomes your new normal. Say you miss Monday's run because it's pouring and you're wrecked. Fine, that's 1, and 1 miss costs you nothing. The real danger shows up on Tuesday. Skip again, and a single rain day hardens into a routine. So on Tuesday you run, even if it's only half the distance. The rule was never about keeping a perfect, unbroken streak. It's about being the person who always comes back the next morning. Decide your comeback now, before you actually need it. Make it the smallest possible action, ready for the day after any miss. Miss once and you're fine. Miss twice and the whole arc quietly ends. 6. Give it an end. Saying I'm locking in with no end date is a quiet trap. An open goal has no urgency, so it drifts and then dies. The great lock-in works because it's a season, not a forever. So put a real date on it. September 1st to December 31st. 90 days, then it's done. A countdown does something that someday can never do for you. It makes today count because the days you have left are numbered. Take the same goal with no date attached. It drifts into November and quietly disappears, so mark day 90 on a calendar and cross off each day as it passes. That shrinking number pulls you forward harder than any motivation ever could. You aren't signing up for a new personality that lasts forever. You're locking in for 90 days and anyone can do 90 days. So there they are. 6 rules, not 6 feelings. Pick one thing, set a floor, bind it to a place, count the input, never miss twice. Give it an end. Now notice what every one of these rules has in common. Every single one assumes you're going to have bad days. The floor, the comeback, the input you can hit when you feel like nothing. They're all built for the version of you that doesn't feel like it, because that's the version of you who shows up most days. The people who reach December aren't born more disciplined than you. They just stopped depending on discipline and built rules instead. They lock the rules in first and let the rules do the holding. September's here. The countdown already started. So pick your one thing and go.